Welcome to the JoContractor Show, a podcast created by three regular Joes. The JoContractor Show is a place where trade professionals, business owners, and homeowners looking for solid advice and amusement can hear stories of great success and great failure in the turbulent and unpredictable world of construction. On the JoContractor Show, we dig deep into the realm of remodeling and construction. We chat with construction trade professionals, business owners, and homeowners alike. We support local independent contractors and those who put their trust in the hands of these capable and hardworking business owners and tradespeople. We discuss construction and home maintenance from multiple angles, and we do it with compassion, purpose, and humor. Listen as Lori, Merrick, and Sam, along with a wide variety of guests, explore topics related to construction, home ownership, small business creation, and more. A quick reminder, don't forget to send your questions to questions@JoContractorshow.com. And after you've done that, please take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe, or talk about us tomorrow morning at the local coffee shop. We appreciate feedback and critique, and it lets us know that you're out there and that you care.
All right. Well, here we go with our first episode of JoContractor, or the JoContractor Show. My name is Sam, and welcome everyone who's listening. We've got two more here with us. We'll start with Lori.
Hi, I'm Lori.
Hi, Lori. What's your company?
My company is Wonder Woman Construction.
All right.
And I've been doing it a long time, but I'm very young.
Yes. So young and at it for a long time. Just out of curiosity, where is Wonder Woman located?
We're in Minneapolis, and we're a building contractor and an electrical contractor, so we're got a couple of areas covered.
Great. And then we've got Merrick. So we're gonna all host this together. So we've got Merrick Reeder.
Hey everybody, my name's Merrick. My business is Reeder Home Restorations, and we specialize in restoring historic homes. We do a lot of work on older Victorians on the exterior, replacing woodwork and doing high-end paint jobs, and then do a lot of kitchen and bathroom, basement remodeling, that sort of general contracting stuff.
Awesome. And I mean, we all know each other. Lori and I just met recently, but Merrick, you and I have known each other for, 10 years now or something longer.
Yeah.
How long have you been at it, Merrick?
Well, it seems like forever, like my dad built our house when I was a kid, and then in high school, we, ended up doing that for my summer jobs. And then, once I settled down, started painting. And
kind of a classic construction story.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, and my company is now Divine Tile Works, and I am formerly the owner of a full design build firm here in town in Minneapolis. We're all out of Minneapolis, by the way. And with the pandemic, I decided to focus my efforts on something a little more, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for here, a little more
Refined,
let's say, yes. A little. I said focus my efforts, and I really wanted to say on something more focused, but that didn't quite make sense. But no, to simplify my daily life in the construction world, but I have a wealth of knowledge in kind of all areas in construction, and I think, Lori, that is the case for you, and Merrick, that is the case for you as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us, and this is our first show, so of course it's going to be a little rough, but we are introducing ourselves to you, our audience, and what we want you to know is that the show is really designed to give homeowners some insight into what is going on in the world of construction, and also to be a base for smaller contractors, smaller construction firms to air some questions, to get some knowledge, to understand kind of the industry around them, and for us to chat about all of that stuff, right?
Right. Sounds good.
All right. So, Merrick, how do you fill most of your days? Like what?
Oh, well,
as a contractor,
it's changed, right? It's changed a lot. Like every year, it changes quite a bit. So, right now, most of my day, I start out my day doing doing my first hour's email. I have a pretty structured day. 7 o'clock, I hit my desk, I do my emails, and then my first meeting's at 8, and that's either with one of my team or with a client.
Do you carry a clipboard?
No, I do everything. Everything's digial. I own a clipboard.
Do you have a clip-on phone thing? Like some contractor? No, I mean,
I think he has a flip phone.
No, I only ask because, I mean, Lori, does that, like, how rigid are you in your kind of scheduling and stuff like that? Are you pretty...
With my crew or me?
You personally.
I am not as rigid as I used to be.
Or structured, I should say.
Structured. It's very structured and disciplined is what I would say. And my days are like banker's days, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And so that's not the way it used to be, but that's the way it is now.
Right.
I'm a 7 to 5 guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've known you for a long time, Merrick, and I do think, like, you've always kind of had that, like, head down, straightforward, like, I'm getting business done kind of, you've been all over the place a little bit from time to time, but, like, that doesn't surprise me that you've got, like, a period of time scheduled for this in the morning and then that. Like, my day is way less structured than that. But,
Mine's in between you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So very structured, highly structured, fairly organized, and complete chaos.
We got quite the trio.
I'm also setting the bar pretty high for myself. I rarely actually hit every single, like, I have a template on my calendar that's like, this is email time, this is client time, this is end of the day breakdown, this is even before, like, meditation time, exercise time, right? I never get them all.
Yeah.
I never get them all right. It's never perfect. It's
you really have interruptions in your day?
Yeah. And you really do schedule in time to take care of yourself, too, which is good. I've known that for a while. So
it all falls apart if I'm not thinking straight.
Right. Yep. So, Lori, what, like, these days, this is, March of 2022. The world is collapsing around us, but it's all fine. Everything's good.
It's always collapsing one way or another.
And here we are starting up a podcast, which is, we're all super excited for. This is going to be a very fun show. I hope people are really going to get a lot out of this. But what do you spend your days doing mostly these days?
Running the show. With my crew, I'm still the boss, probably still the master carpenter, so I'm in the field every now and then. I was out in the field a couple days this week, framing, and but scheduling, project managing, estimating is the big part of my day, or it should be.
Right.
Do you hate doing that?
There's nothing like interruptions, right? And and then research. There's a lot of R&D into what we do. Everything I look up, new products, what's all out there now, what metal roofing should we be using?
Really? You're not like set in your ways and you use the same thing and berate anybody who uses something new that you...
No, I see them out there.
I run into those folks on on a few of the Facebook forums that I'm on where it's just like, contractors are supposed to be helping contractors. And then you go on there and they're like, I've been doing it this way since 1962. And they're all mad at everyone who's got a new way of doing things.
Yeah, there's only one way to do it, right?
Right. As someone I worked with years ago said, well, I see someone taught you how to do that wrong. Nice. Anyway.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Or a different way, however you might want to look at it.
Yeah, I always see 3 ways to do something. There's got to be at least 3 ways, and you pick one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's merit in exploring the ways that other people do things, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no right way.
Yeah. Merrick, you've always only done things one way, I assume, right?
No, I was trying to find new ways.
He does know the right way.
I know. Merrick's a constant.
I know the right way, but I try new ways anyway.
I know the right way, but I'm going to do 9 wrong ways just to make sure that the right way is the right way.
Because you'll never forget.
Yeah. Right. Then it's deeply ingrained in there.
Right.
Yeah. Such is the life of a contractor.
But I guess I only got to the very start of my day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of moving into this area where I am the lead or the most skilled carpenter in my company. So I've been making time to go out and do a lot more training. Like that's part of my scheduling and my new fulfillment process is that if we have a new thing that's happening that, I can go in, I can work with the lead carpenters, put on a tool belt for a couple hours, work with them, kind of show them how I'd want it done. Because in the past I've been so busy that I'm just like, you do it your way. And then you end up sacrificing quality or it's not the way that I want it.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it's just that too, right?
And a lot of times the client's perfectly happy with it, and my standards are
Right.
out of control, So
Yeah, I make a lot of visits to the site to make sure things are going as I want them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's my subs, so that's a lot of time driving,
right.
getting
It
out
is.
there.
How about you, Sam? What do
Yeah.
you?
Oh God,
How do you feel your?
mostly I'm caring for my children these days. No, to be honest, it is. I'm back to building up a fresh business. So Divine Tile Works is relatively new, and my decision to focus strictly on one trade. I even thought about doing that years ago. I thought about not extending myself into all of these new areas, and then we were, next thing I know, we're doing $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 whole house remodels, and I thought that was kind of like, a step toward what I really wanted, or the kind of the pinnacle of what I could do in residential remodeling. And what I realized is that it just exposed me to so many things that I have some knowledge in, but maybe I'm not the best at, and then left me very exposed when COVID hit because no one was wanting to do those huge house remodels. So my point is, I'm really pleased to be back to something that I do very well. I know a lot of the ins and outs of it. I can argue with people about whether they're doing it right or wrong, or correctly or incorrectly. And I find a lot of satisfaction in a well-completed tile project. It's a little bit math, a little bit building, and a little bit art, and I like that.
Yeah, nothing like doing one thing and doing it well
Yeah.
instead of a Jill or jack of all trades that we all have been.
Yeah. Well, and we should mention, so we are recording this show in the Wonder Woman garage, we're going to call it, but it is what do you call this space?
Warehouse.
The warehouse, yeah. Well, it's a pretty cool space. I mean, it's, I'll describe it for you quickly. It's kind of an open warehouse. There are plants. There's a pool table covered up right now, but, couches, some sound equipment, a few vans, a lot of tools.
Exposed joists on the ceiling.
Exposed joists, steel beams, pipes, wires, and a little kitchen. I mean, it's an interesting space and a great space for us to start this because we are general contractors, but there is this thing out there in the world where, like, can you guys describe for me, like, when people say the word contractor, what do you think? Because that's such a loaded word. So.
Well, totally. Isn't it equal to a lawyer a lot of times?
Sure. Yeah.
People think there's the despicable lawyer and there's the despicable contractor.
Yeah, that part of it too. Yes,
And they
yes.
exist.
Right. They do. And here we are. No, we're not here. That's not us.
Oh, we just lost everybody.
Wait, you are?
Good to know now.
Way to go,
No,
Lori.
no. The people have their good ideas, and for most people, I think have had good experiences. It's the rare ones that you hear the bad experiences. But I typically say it's like your doctor, your family doctor. They know your house, they know your body, or whatever it might be.
Right.
But you get one and you keep them, and there's nothing like the same mechanic, the same doctor, and the same contractor and lawyer.
Yeah. No, that's a different. You took it a different direction than what I was actually thinking. But I think there's a lot in what you said that's true. I think there's any profession, whether it's politician, which everyone hates, right, or doctor or whatever, you're always going to find people who aren't good at it,
Right.
or who are out to take advantage of people. But The people I know that I have known over the years in construction are really all very good people. The ones that I have recognized aren't very good, I've disassociated with immediately and warned anyone about. But I think
And they don't stick around very often either. They can't build their clientele very well.
no, I mean, they get exposed
Right.
quickly. Yeah, I mean, I think generally speaking, most general contractors that I know really are out for good. They're out to do you good, but they also want to get paid, to do that. So,
I mean, I think that'd be a fun thing to do an episode on, would be how to vet your contractor, things to look out for.
for sure, some red flags.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah, we can and will give people some insight into, the things we've witnessed along the way that sort of you should be watching out for. But what does contractor mean to you, Merrick?
Oh, well. I mean, what does the word mean, and what do I think of when I hear that? I think are two separate
maybe you're
things.
getting more at what I was sort of poking at, but go ahead.
Yeah, like what does what's a general contractor's responsibilities and tasks feel like? Or are you asking me like...
You want me to tell you what I'm thinking? No, I mean, the thing is, the word contractor itself, it's a lot like when someone says, we'll just say designer, or we can say doctor, or we can even say lawyer. Like, if I'm having heart problems and I go to a podiatrist, the guy's got the word doctor before his name, but is he the right guy to take care of my heart problem? No. So in the world of contracting, like, we're all three very much general contractors. And, we've all carried licenses as general contractors. But I've also, when I was a painter, people referred to me as a contractor. I was a painting contractor, but I wasn't actually contracting other people to do the work. So I think there's this, this perception out there that the word contractor means someone in the trades. And in reality, there are people who contract work, and some of them at the higher levels, they don't even touch the work themselves. They are true contractors. Everybody under them is a sub, and all that work gets done by a sub.
paper contractor.
They're a paper and telephone. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so I think one of the things that we'll want to define clearly for people is that, the JoContractor show and the work that we're doing, and eventually we'll tell you about the software that we're going to put out. But what we're talking about are, the plumber might be someone that you think of as a contractor. I certainly call the plumber a contractor, even though my plumber is technically a tradesperson, Same with the electrician. It's an electrical contractor. Well, they're not contracting someone else to do the work that I contract them to do. So technically, they're just an electrician. But broadly in society, we use the word contractor to describe people who do work in the building trades. So that's one way that it's defined.
Right.
And so what I was wondering was sort of how you viewed the word contractor, like what that means to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two different, the word contractor is thrown out to, refer to a general contractor who usually carries the licenses, is managing a bunch of other subcontractors underneath them. But then, like that, anybody in the trades, right? But, I think that there's definitely some like stigma that comes along with the whole general contractor thing,
there
right?
is.
And some of them are really accurate. Some of them are generalizations, but, and I think that there's some unique qualities to a contractor. If we look at the bigger group, anyone in the trades, right? A painting contractor, a plumbing contractor, all of that, there's some real commonality there.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that it's, over the years, I've kind of said that like getting into construction is one of the things that it's one of the last bastions of civilization for people who've maybe run afoul of things or something. You know, like if you can't figure out, you know, if you didn't go to school, or even if you did, or, you know, things just didn't work out in some way, it's kind of this good and bad thing that happens. There is a place for you in construction, but it's also part of the reason why, you know, if you're not building skyscrapers, people kind of tend to look at you like, you know, how'd you fail to get here? instead of thinking about all of the successes it took for you know, whether you're an excellent electrician or an excellent plumber or a really excellent painter or drywall person, you know, any of these things in the trades, or a really good home remodeler, I think there's a lot more kind of you know, it's like street smarts or unscripted education that you need to get in order to be good at those things, because, you know, JoContractor it's kind of a play on words, the name of the show. JoContractor, we're sort of making fun of ourselves in a way.
Right.
You know, any old JoContractor?
Well, like you know, so there are a lot of like misfits in the trades.
Somewhat,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's people coming from all different places, you know, that have, you know, or some people go to college and get into construction intentionally, which is rare.
Yeah,
Right.
It is.
Some of us have gone to college, and here we are.
Right. Some of us keep dropping out of college and still manage their way back. No, I mean, it's funny.
And you know, like I've always kind of identified with the misfits, and I think that's something that I really enjoy about all the people in construction. It's like you have those little conversations when there's some space and you're not working, and it's like people are really interesting.
I mean, I think some of the smartest people I've met, you know, there's something, I think construction sort of caters to an experiential learner type person, someone
Yeah,
who,
definitely.
yeah. Mm-hmm. If you've got, I mean, you know, if you're, oh God, everyone's so nice these days. Let's say you're just not that brilliant, and you're somewhat dull, and you want to do the same thing in and out every day. Like there's factory work, and you can find a place in construction that might work for you too. You know, but a lot of the people that I know in construction, even in little nooks and crannies of construction, are way more dynamic than that and have a lot of other things going on in their life. They might be artists or musicians or travelers, or, you know, they're doing something, but they can make a living, they can make money in construction, so then they, you know, eventually become contractors and stuff too.
Right. And it's a good field to get into because less and less people are doing it every year, and you can make a good income.
Yeah, the
without
misfits
the
are going to
education.
be, going up against the college kids. Everybody's going to be dying to get into construction.
Right. When I said without the education, without the formal education, because there's actually,
Well,
that's
right.
I think that's a big part. That's why I said.
Don't you guys get asked that a lot? Like, how do I get into construction? Should I go to school? So I get a lot of that, people looking for a job or wondering or wanting to figure out how to get into construction. And I'm like, well, just go get a job. Because that's how most of us did it.
I tend to, when I get asked that by kids, younger folks, I would say, I tend to try and push them toward like electrical work or plumbing or something, because there's a more structured path to a completed, you know, to an outcome, to a job. But no, I mean, I think most people that end up, you know, as really good carpenters or whatever, and then end up being just fantastic general remodeling contractors, they've tried everything. They've done every little part of this at some point. So.
Right, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're doing every little piece, and before we knew it, we were a general contractor.
Yes.
And then with that, you know, it's like the person that specializes, you talked about that earlier, you know, like that is a much more cut and dry path to follow. And the general contracting one isn't always very glamorous, right? It's a lot of hard work behind the scenes, dealing with a lot of stuff that maybe the trade professional that's a sole proprietor isn't dealing with,
I think that being ADD or something helps because you're wearing a lot of hats. You're doing a juggler.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's akin to like, opening your own restaurant or something. Like you're gonna end up needing to do a bunch of different things and learning a bunch of different things along the way. So, well, let's take our first little break here, and we will come back for a short period after that break and start the second half of the show.
We will be back to the show after a few quick ads from our valued sponsors. Wonder Woman Construction is a Minneapolis-based, woman-owned residential and commercial construction and electrical company. Lori and her team pride themselves on their commitment to long-term green and sustainable building practices, and they apply their deep understanding of building science to each project they take on. They are dedicated to the complete satisfaction of every client. One more thing that you absolutely cannot miss about Wonder Woman Construction is the fact that every employee loves what they do and truly enjoys working with each other. The best projects are those that are done by happy people, and Wonder Woman Construction is full of happy people. Visit wonderwomanconstruction.com to get started on your happiest project ever. Kinetic Legacy is the company that powers the JoContractor app. Their unique platform blends the good parts of social tech with their one-of-a-kind data organizing system, giving communities large and small a safe, private space to stay connected and to keep information and memories organized. If you and your community have a shared purpose or passion and are looking for a better way to stay connected, contact Kinetic Legacy today at kineticlegacy.us. Find out how groups from contractors to campers, tribal communities, unions, and alumni organizations are finding their way to meaningful new spaces in this increasingly digital world. Again, that's kineticlegacy.us. Reader Home Restorations is a Minnesota-based full-service residential general contracting company specializing in the repair and painting of historic homes. Whether your home needs repairs, painting, or remodeling, Reader Home Restorations has got you covered. We understand that every home, client, and project is unique. At Reader Home Restorations, we pledge to give you a long-lasting product while paying close attention to client questions and concerns. Check us out at www.readerhomerestorations.com. That's Reader spelled with 2 E's, homerestorations.com. The JoContractor Show doesn't let just any old company put an ad in the middle of a show this important. They have to pay us. Send us an email if you're certain your business should be featured on our show.
Alrighty, and we're starting the second half now. So thanks for letting us take a little break. We were talking just briefly about what it is we should talk about in the second half. I think we really wanted to give you, the audience, an understanding of kind of our personalities and where we're headed with the show. And I think, the three of us, we got into contractor stuff a little bit there and what that means to be a contractor. I think we would like for our audience to know that we are representing what we feel are the smaller contractors within the field in its entirety. So, yes, general contractors like the three of us, but also who are the other trades that you guys think we should, are vital to?
Yeah, plumbers, electricians, roofers. Pretty much any piece of your house.
Foundation, concrete guys.
Right.
Insulators.
Insulators.
The people who get
Energy
no
auditors.
credit for anything.
Yeah, I know. We're the most important piece of a house.
Yeah, I think there's so
Building
many
scientists.
Yep. There's so many aspects to construction. So if you're tuning in with us as a homeowner because you want to learn a little bit about construction for your house, that's great. We will have shows that are tailored to your needs. If you are a in a worker within the construction industry, or an owner of your own company, or a general contractor. Generally speaking, we're hitting the companies with, I'd say, less than 10 or 15 employees for the most part.
I really like the term trade professional. I just feel like that really defines the
I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
So our shows in the future, we will break into a few different categories. We are going to have shows with guests, and we will have guests that are trade professionals. Is that what you said? Construction trade professionals? Yes.
That's right.
But we will also, I don't know of any other show that's bringing on homeowners, and we are not going to be looking to find people with horror stories. What we're looking for is ways that homeowners can get a little better understanding of what they're getting into when they get into these construction projects, whether that's big or small, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think another mission of our podcast is also to share information, like you said, but like how to do specific things that the layperson might not understand about construction.
Yeah, I mean, even the terminology is sometimes so confusing to people that, I mean, how many calls do you get where people just want a question answered because they have no clue where to even start?
And you don't even know what they're saying either because you don't know their language.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we didn't touch on, though. A good portion of my work over the years has been in relationship counseling. I mean,
Right.
like when you are doing work in people's homes, you have disrupted their entire family life, and you've got, competing ideas from two different spouses or whatever, and it is, I mean, a lot of it's been relationship management.
Well, in the field too. I mean, that's
Even
one
with
of
your
the
work.
roles.
Oh, yeah.
One of the roles if there's a conflict in a relationship anywhere in my business.
Yeah,
Yep.
contractor is
That needs to go to
synonymous
me.
with therapist.
Yeah. Yes. And problem solver. I think
Oh,
that's another
absolutely.
thing. So, experiential learners, problem solvers, artistic folks who need a way to express that art in some way that makes them some money. I think they find their way to this. And so for homeowners, we want to make sure that we give you some shows. We're going to have shows where you can write to us, where you can maybe sort of call in. I don't know. We're not really hooked up with live call in, but we'll try some things. But email, write, or submit questions that we will answer on the show. That's going to be a fun format for some of them. We will have, like I said, interviews with contractors and homeowners, and then we'll have a few shows where we just sit and chat it up, yuck it up like this. And
We do have a few stories.
yeah, tell stories. Good and bad. Hopefully, we're going to focus as much as we can throughout the seasons as on the positive side of construction. So there you go.
Well, and telling stories and working in groups is very much comes with the job.
It
So
is.
it feels right at home in here.
Yeah, I agree. So this is a great little studio, a great place to start for this show. And I don't know if you two have anything you want to say before we finish this first episode. I mean,
I had I was just thinking about the little more detailed onto like the trade professionals that we're trying to reach, right? It's
Sure.
like we're trying to share. We want to hear about the successes and failures, the intricacies of it, how you got into it. We want to share our experience too, and kind of just really keep it like this grounded thing that actually appeals to the regular guy.
I can
Right.
say I think I know where that's coming from, because you and I have done a little research, right, on some of the other shows. Did you listen to? Well, I'll just say I listened to a couple of those shows, and having the chief marketing officer of Owens Corning tell me about roofing materials and the cost of the future of it. That's not my area of construction. I do not want to listen to that dude.
I don't even want to be that guy.
I want to hear the dog that got out while you were working on their project.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've listened to a few construction shows, and they are generally geared toward large companies with lots of employees, with kind of a CEO at the top who, I don't know, is thinking about the larger picture of building a whole bunch of homes and a whole bunch of multi-unit places and stuff. And there's certainly space for that out in the world. We know that those structures need to get built, but most of us, many of us, we live in a place that I just need my bathroom redone. And how do I go about doing that? Like, right. Can I contract that myself? Is that, who would I reach out into? In my community, who would I reach out and find who could help me answer questions?
Yeah, Joe-Contractor.
Oh, right. That's right.
The 99%.
That's right. Joe-Contractor.
Yeah, 99%. We're not the 1%ers.
Yeah, so Joe-Contractor is the one. And, that's where we're headed with this, is to figure out who is Joe-Contractor, what are they up to, what motivates them, and how do you, a homeowner, find the right contractor for you, or the right Joe-Contractor for you. So there you go. I think that kind of sums up what we're aiming for in our first show. Do you guys want to say anything else before we log out of here? Let these people go on about their day?
Thanks for joining us, and I feel like there's a lot of great material to come out of this, because even when we don't have the microphones in front of us, we got lots to talk about. So
yeah, we even enjoy each other's company and listening to each other's stories. And yeah, you're going to hear lots more stories. And we're your neighbor, we're your friends, we're Joe-Contractors.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, thanks for everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening to another amazing episode of the most important show out there. Before we go, we want to thank you again for supporting us and for all the lovely things you say about us on social media. Shows like this grow with help from people like you. And remember, keep sending us your questions. We really appreciate the stories and the great insights we gain from our audience. We also want to remind you that you can buy shirts, hats, and more at JoContractorShow.com. Be good to each other, and we'll catch you on the next show.